Good morning. Okay, I'm trying this on my phone this morning because live on the computer is a bit strange. So I hope everyone can see me here. As everybody pops on this morning for our 8:30 live, let's get a thumbs up if you can hear me when you pop on here. My audio is a bit weird. Thumbs up if you can hear me, please, please, please. So make sure that we can do this. Melissa's here, Bree is here. As people pop on, just give me a little thumbs up or a wave or something to let me know that you can hear me. We'll give everyone a second to get here. I am really excited about today. And yes, thumbs up, we can hear, yay! I have to kind of talk quietly too because my daughter's still sleeping. It's 8:30 here Mountain Time, and I don't know when to even wake them up anymore. They just like sleep forever, and school might not start. So there's that. Okay, so I'm super excited about today because this is an actual process that women in my transformation program are learning, are incorporating into their life. I was updating some content inside of our membership site, and I decided this one would be a really good one to have everybody do because it is so freaking useful. And yeah, inside that site, people in the program get new updates of content for life for free. So we're always in there updating new stuff. So I want you to make sure that you take notes. So if you don't have a pen and paper right now, go get one. Go get one. Because this is actually something that my paying clients are doing, and they are getting crazy results, and it will work for you if you take the time to learn this and incorporate it. And it's very quick, very simple. After you learn the steps to do it, huge changes. Okay. Cool. So grab that pen and paper if you do not have it, or if you're watching this as a replay, go ahead and hashtag replay so I can know that you watched it. If you have questions, if you have comments, hi Doria, good morning. Go ahead and put those questions and comments in the chat box, and I will do my best to get to all of those at the end of this. So if you have questions, you can put them in there and we'll talk through that, okay? So we're about to dive into a process that is going to help you identify and eliminate limiting beliefs, okay? So, will this work as well as it does with a coach in a supported community, having an objective person who's not stuck in your bullshit and your emotional state that we all have? Will it work as well? No, it's not gonna work as well as with a coach, but it's an extremely effective solution, an extremely effective process to help you understand what is really going on that you're in your own way. And I know that you're in your own way because I talk to hundreds of women a week. Hi, Anita, good morning. And when I talk to hundreds of women a week, there's some underlying similar themes. And one of those themes is I want to get fit. I'm not happy how I feel right now or where I am right now, but I don't know why I'm not doing anything about it. Literally, I ask people and I say, okay, well, why is this not happening for you? And they go, I don't know. I just can't seem to make myself get off the couch, right? And if you're someone who has health problems or really low energy that's affecting your ability to play with your kids the way that you want to, or you're hiding from your husband at night and changing in the bathroom because you don't want him to see you or touch you anymore, or you don't have confidence in yourself, or you're just fucking like exhausted all of the time because walking around makes you out of breath. These are real things for people that I talk to every day. And if you're one of those people, but you're saying, I just can't get off the couch, there's a disconnect there, okay? There's a reason, and that's what we're gonna talk through here. And people come to me for exercise and nutrition to start. You find me on Facebook, you probably saw an ad at some point, some picture of me with abs, and you think, ooh, she must know the right nutrition and the right exercises, and she's gonna tell me what to eat and how to move my body, and I'm gonna look like that too. Me. I will tell you, of course I'll tell you what to eat and how to move your body, because we're not gonna journal and sit on mountaintops meditating and change your fucking physical state all alone. That's stupid, it doesn't work like that. But those pieces have to go together. And what people learn when they come in looking for a nutrition and exercise strategy, what they end up realizing is that that's not their real problem. That's not their real problem. So we help you get clarity on what your limiting factor is. What is that push-pull that you're trapped in, where you're eating bad shit and having a drink, but you don't really want to, but you keep doing it, but you're sitting on the couch, but you want to get up? Like, where is this coming from? What is that tug of war? And what it is this tug of war between 90% and 10%. So you have this 10% of your brain, of your mind, that is your conscious mind. This is the part of your mind that plans things, wants to reach goals, takes effort, puts in effort, puts in action steps. It's the doing part. It's the decision making. It's the I'm going to wake up and I'm going to make my food and I'm going to go to the gym. It's the part that plans the conscious choices of your day. But that's 10% of what's happening inside of your mind. So research shows we have this other 90%, and that's your subconscious. Your subconscious is not something that most of us control at all. It's just running in the background. It's this part of you that is in flow. It's the more emotional part. It has no judgment. It's not discerning. And it's formed when you are very, very young, for the most part. And information is just coming in at you. Your brain waves are slower when you're younger. And because they are slower, you absorb more information without thinking about it. Without going, do I really believe that? Do I really feel that? Do I really want that inside of my brain and inside of my body? You're not thinking of those things when your conscious mind is formed, when your subconscious mind is formed, okay? So there's this disconnect. But you need to know that your subconscious mind protects your well-being as an adult. Or, well, it thinks that it's protecting your well-being. It's trying to. Its job is to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable. And how many of you have tried to change and it's felt really uncomfortable? Like physically uncomfortable or mentally uncomfortable or stressful because you're like changing new habits and trying to find extra time in your day to do this new thing. Or maybe it's causing some problems with your partner or with your kids because you're finally trying to take time for yourself. Like your subconscious mind wants to stop all of these uncomfortable processes from happening because its job is to keep you safe. That means no chance of failing, no risk. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about your goals, okay? It cares about keeping you like firmly planted where you are. Even if you consciously don't like where you are. Your subconscious mind knows that it's safe and it's comfortable and we know what's coming next, right? There's no guessing. There's no surprises. There's no chance of failing. There's no chance of changing. And your subconscious mind likes that. Good morning, Olivia. And your subconscious mind is running the show. So what you need to do, what we're going to do today here together, is to resolve the disconnect between this 90% and this 10%. Right? 10% of you is pulling over here and wants to be better. You want to change. You want to live your best life. You want to be proud of yourself. You want to have energy. You want to be that person that does that thing. But 90% of you is like, meh. And we got to figure out why, where that's coming from, and then unraveling that shit and putting something else there. So that's what we're going to walk through today. And if we don't do this, I need you to hear this. If you don't work through what's happening underneath in that 90% of your mind, it doesn't matter what you are consciously trying to do. It does not matter which nutrition program you choose, which exercise program you choose, how hard you push, how many goals you put in front of you. Your subconscious mind, 90% of this is pulling you back. That's fucking hard to overcome. So let's not make it so hard. Let's make this process easier by working to overcome that stuff so that 90% and that 10% can work together. And then guess what? Eating nutritious foods, moving your body, start to feel good, start to feel natural. Doesn't feel like that fucking pull. And I know that you feel that. And that's why you're like, I want to, but I'm on the couch. Okay? So this process is for you. If you sometimes feel really close, sometimes you're like, I'm doing everything. I'm doing all the things. I'm putting in the work. And it's just not working. Or you cannot stick to something for very long, even though you feel like you really want it. Or you feel like you're really close, but it's just not happening for you. Or you know what you want. You feel it. You're like, I want to lose that weight. I really do. But you just can't figure out why you're not taking the action steps that you should. Okay? So the best time to use this process is when you feel that stuckness. When you are sitting on the couch and you don't know why you're not getting up. So I want you to use a pen and a paper for this because there is this hand-brain connection where sometimes your hand can actually move faster than the thoughts in your brain because those thoughts have this conscious filter on top of it, right? Those thoughts are judged. Those thoughts are considered like, is this the right answer? Do I really feel this way? I don't know if I want to write this down. That's all of your conscious mind kind of running the show. And if we type or even talk, especially when we talk, conscious mind is getting in the way. And we want to really access your subconscious mind and see what the fuck is going on in there, okay? Hi, Katha. Not a long time, Miss Katha. She's from my gym. So I want you to use a pen and paper because as you get going and we start accessing subconscious mind, there's a lot of times that your hand will just go and you're not even thinking about it. Have any of you had that experience if you journal? There's just this flow that happens and you're going really, really fast and you're not even thinking about it. And when you get into that state and that judgment of conscious mind goes away, you're like, well, I can't believe I even fucking wrote that. Where did that come from? Okay. So we're going to use pen and paper and we're going to go through this 5-step system. Now, I learned this system from an extraordinarily expensive business and mindset coach. I'm talking upwards of $30,000 that I spent on this coach. So, I fully believe in the value of having a coach to walk you through processes that are difficult, that you otherwise would be like, fuck this, I don't want to, or that you get stuck and confused within, right? You're like, I think I'm doing this exercise right, but I'm not quite sure what it means. I'm not quite sure like how to relate this into my life and integrate it with what I want. Those are the times that having a coach is very, very helpful. So I learned this from one of my super high level coaches in the past few years. So 5 steps. Here we go. Are we ready? Step 1. Hopefully you can write this down as we go. We need to identify the block. We need to know as clearly as we can what the frustration is, what the story is. Maybe it's, I can't lose the weight. Maybe it's, I'm frustrated, I've tried everything. Maybe it's, this won't work. Maybe it's, nothing has worked before. Okay? As specifically as you can, we need to identify the negative loop that you are saying to yourself. That is your subconscious block. That's level 1 of subconscious blocks. We're going to write that down. And actually, let's not do nothing is working. Nothing is working is kind of a huge feeling. It's a huge problem. And you know, how do you fix that? There's so many pieces to nothing is working that we need to know the problem. Is the problem you're saying over and over, I can't lose the weight. I'm frustrated. This won't work. What are you saying to yourself with regards to body and weight loss? Okay. Complicated feels really, really impossible. So we want it to be a very, very, very clear statement. Okay. So we have this super clear statement of here's the block. Identify that block. Step 2, identify the core emotions associated with that block. And as everybody knows who works with me inside of my program, I am really, really big on talking about the feeling side of things. How does this make you feel? Because that is where we can get into your subconscious mind more. And that conscious mind, it doesn't allow the feelings, okay? So we want to know the feelings, not the thought. Identify the core emotion associated with this block. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's frustration, okay? But those are kind of like surface level feelings. And I promise you, if you dig a bit through those surface level feelings, what you will find is a deeper feeling of, you know, maybe it's fear, maybe it's grief, maybe it's abandonment, maybe it's a fear of rejection, maybe it's a fear of not being worthy, maybe it's a fear of being seen for who you are, okay? So if you get to this point, and a lot of people do, when we first do these exercises together, a lot of people go, I don't feel anything. I just feel angry. I'm just fucking frustrated that I haven't lost weight yet, right? I'm just frustrated. So I need you to know that those feelings of anger and frustration, like being mad, is typically your ego protecting you from those real feelings. And we need to know those real feelings because we need clarity. We need clarity on what is the block, what is the feeling behind the block in order to unblock, right? We have to feel these things. We have to allow ourselves to feel it. And usually we don't because we're really, really busy as moms, as women, as wives, as career people. We get shit done. We're super positive. We think we're doing the right thing by just like, I'm going to do all the things and I'm going to take care of all the people and I'm going to just think really happy thoughts about my life. But on the inside, there are feelings that we are totally not handling. And when you sit with this shit, your first feeling is usually anger and frustration. But that's just ego trying to protect you from feeling what's really going on. So let's go past the anger and frustration to really feel. You have to have the courage to be with what is. And if we can't find that courage, then you are ruled by these feelings of fear or grief or abandonment or rejection or unworthiness. And that's why we're not making the choices to get off the fucking couch, even though we feel like we really want to. Because those subconscious feelings are just running the fucking show, okay? And it's difficult to have that courage without a support system, which is why this is a much easier process when you have a coach and somebody to hold your hand and shed some light on the things that feel very scary for you. But you have to have that courage, okay? So next, I want you to write your goal in the affirmative. So that looks like not, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, because then we're talking negative. You write, if that's your goal, you write, I want to be 130 pounds, whatever that is. Okay, so write that goal down. We'll give you a second. Write your goal in the affirmative. And then I want you to sit with, and this could be a long process for you. It might not all happen right now, but I want you to sit with the feeling that reaching that goal represents. And so once again, we're getting right back into feeling. right? If you have that goal, that's your conscious mind. That's the do, the push, the go, the get it, right? That's the action. We have to dig underneath that and identify what that feeling is that goal represents for you. And it's usually what you aren't allowing yourself to feel right now because you don't have that already. That's typically how this works. So are you going to feel, incredibly confident? Are you going to feel proud of yourself? Are you going to feel energized to a point where you're really joyful in your life and empowered to take action that you're not right now? Maybe in your head, you see yourself climbing mountains and, being like Shira, like running the show. Okay. But we feel like we can't get there because we have no energy and we're dragging around all of this excess weight mentally and physically. Okay. So let's find the feeling behind I want to be 130 pounds. And I'm just talking about this in weight loss terms because that's why we are all in this group, is to figure out that connection of weight loss. But you could do this for any area of your life. I do it a lot with business. So number 3. Here, this is the most important part, and it is the hardest part. Are we ready? We need to figure out what the stuckness and the fear, what those core emotions associated with the block are there to protect you from. Because they're there for a reason. Like your subconscious is trying, bless its heart, trying to give you optimal well-being by keeping you super, super, super safe. And what you interpret that as is self-sabotage, right? When you're doing all the right things and then all of a sudden you're eating cake and drinking beer and missing 8 workouts in a row and you're like, I'm sabotaging myself. I'm doing these behaviors that as I'm doing them, I know I really don't want to and I know I shouldn't, but I keep doing them. Self-sabotage. That is your subconscious trying very, very hard to keep you safe. To keep you in your little bubble of comfort. Because comfort is safety. And if you've ever tried to change, it feels a little bit unsafe. Feels like free fall sometimes, right? Yeah, your subconscious doesn't like that. So we need to figure out where that stuckness and fear, like what is there to protect you from. So it looks like you can write the statement even. If I get to this goal, if I lose the weight, I fear blank. What is that? I'm worried that, like, what is your subconscious scared is going to happen? It could be, if I lose this weight, I fear I won't know who I am anymore. That's a big one for a lot of women who've been overweight for decades. That's their identity. The fuck happens if we lose that identity? Who am I going to be then? I don't know. That's really scary, right? What is it we fear? Maybe we fear, if I lose this weight, I fear I'm going to be really empowered and really proud of myself, and it is going to be very threatening to my insecure husband, and it might shake my relationship to its very core. If I show up and be the person that I really want to be, physically, with energy, with joy, with passion, like you can wake up in the morning and do the things, it's gonna threaten my relationships with people around me because they are not like that. That could be it. So this is a piece to sit with for a while. There's a lot of stories here. Several stories. There's so much entanglement here. Okay? So that statement, if I get to this goal, if I lose the weight, I fear, and then just fucking let it flow. Okay? You need space to experience this. You need to just feel it. And for all of you like type A overthinking people out there, that was like me, You gotta just, you have to stop trying to answer this question consciously, right? Your conscious mind will try to analyze. Is this the right answer? Do I really think that way? Do I really feel that way? What should the answer be? It's like we're people pleasing even when there's no people around, okay? We just want to let that pen go, right? Like just let all the stories be there with no editing. This is your subconscious coming out, and it's like a small child. Like children are ridiculous, you know, they're kind of silly. They have no filter. Things just go and you're like, where did that come from? That's the state that we want to get you into so you can figure out, if I reach this goal, I fear. And what the fuck is there, okay? And then I want you to pause. I want you to go back and I want you to underline the like 2 to 3 pieces of your story, of these things that you fucking fear, of the block. What was that block at the beginning of this that had all this hold on you? And find the pieces that have the most emotional weight for you. The most loaded things, the heaviest pieces. Okay? And you have to know that often these limiting beliefs, that's what we're finding here, is the limiting beliefs. Often these things are really unreasonable. Again, like that child, like they're very literal. Like children take things at face value. And your subconscious mind is just like that little child with just really unreasonable, silly statements in there. So we're going to find those things that have the most emotional weight without any judgment. Just allow what's uncomfortable to be there. Underline those things with the emotional weight. Okay? Is the most important part. Once we have that together, we're going to go into step 4. And this is where having a coach, having someone who can see objectively, who can distance themselves away from that problem and see things from a different perspective is really, really helpful. To help you understand what those blocks really are, what they mean, what you're really feeling, to disengage from it a little bit, to have a wider perspective, you know, like they can't see the forest for the trees. Most of the time in ourself, we're so stuck on that tree. We miss a lot of what's going on. And that's when having a support system, having a coach really makes a difference to help you shift what's happening there. And so this is where we're going to connect that 10%, that conscious mind, the action, the doing, the planning, the goals, the getting, the wanting. We're going to connect that conscious mind with this 90%, the flow, the emotion, the fucking patterns. And we're going to pull yourself together a bit more here. Okay? So we're going to brainstorm ways to meet the goal and the need. Okay? So the goal, maybe your goal is, I want to get to 130 pounds. But when you wrote that I fear statement, it was, I fear that if I get to 130 pounds, I'm gonna use the relationship example because that's what happened to me. I'm gonna rock my relationship to the core because my husband is very insecure. And if I own my own power, if I come into my own skin and my own person, I might totally fuck up this relationship over here because I don't think he can handle it, okay? So we need to brainstorm. How do we get to this goal of this is where I want to be? How do I get to 130 pounds and meet that need of I need my relationship to work? I love this person and I want this person in my life and I don't want them to feel threatened and insecure, right? Or with business, you know, a lot of people fear deep down if they make a shitload of money, they're going to turn into an asshole, right? And so like, how can you make a lot of money and not look that way, right? What does this actually mean? What does this look like? So what would it mean for you to have a healthy, whole, happy relationship and be at this weight that you wanted? What would it look like? What would it mean to totally look this fear that you found in step 3, look it in the face, flip it around into all of the good things, and meet the goal. What would that look like to be 130 pounds and having your husband totally support you and feel proud of you and not feel insecure if that was your fear, right? And write that down. We need to identify that block, identify that goal, identify what's underneath the block and the fear. And then what would it look like if we had the goal and the fear were addressed and blown away in a nice, healthy way, right? What would that fear look like if it wasn't there? What's the opposite of that? Okay. And it's challenging when there's so many layers. You might have a whole lot of stories. And again, that's when a coach can come in and help with each one of those stories to find what's going on underneath that. Okay? So once you have figured that out, step 5, and this is where it all comes together. And if you don't do this part, the rest of it kind of falls on its face. The good news is this part is really easy to do all the time, anywhere you go. Okay? So first, I want you to write an affirmation of both the goal and the need. So maybe that affirmation is, I am going to be 130 pounds and I am going to have a happy, joyful, connected relationship with my partner. That addresses your goal and that addresses the subconscious fear, the subconscious need to keep pulling you down because it's so fucking scared that you're going to fuck up your relationship with your partner. Do we see this? Okay. Your subconscious mind is so scared of what's going to happen if you actually get what you want. So we're going to write that down. We're going to figure it out, write it down. The affirmation of the goal and the need together in one statement. Now, affirmations are incredibly powerful. We have an entire module in my membership site, in my online program, on how to create affirmations that work and then how to put them around you and recite them. But we also need to be cognizant that they have to feel authentic. It cannot feel like such a disconnect from where you're at right now that you're like, that's bullshit. Because your subconscious mind is gonna fucking pick up on that, okay? So it needs to feel like something that is authentic and genuine to you. And if you have done the work from step 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you have dug and you have found what really is one of your subconscious blocks. Like I said, there are typically many. But if you are really genuine with yourself and willing and able to take a look at that and be courageous, then it will feel authentic to flip that shit on its head and say the opposite. I am going to lose, or I'm going to be 130 pounds and have a fabulous connected relationship with my husband. Okay? Then you need to remind yourself of it. So it can be a screensaver on your computer, type it out. It could be something on your phone, an image, type it out again. Could be Post-it notes everywhere. Could be in a little journal that you carry in your purse. It's whatever you're gonna see in front of you a lot. Something on the mirror, something on the fridge. You have to remind yourself of that. And you have to get centered, right? You have to believe it. You have to feel it. And let me tell you that this does not take meditating for a whole bunch of time every day, although that's amazing and very good for you in many ways. But this is something like, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm a single mom. I have 2 kids. I'm always on the go. I run a very successful business. There's a ton of pieces going on in my life. You can do this at the playground. You can do this in line at the grocery store. It's just something you need to put into practice of doing. Okay? And the reason that some of you will probably watch this and never, ever, 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 ever do it is because we don't have the courage to look at what the real fear is, what the real feelings are. Like, do we not feel valuable in our life? Do we not feel worthy of achieving this body and this level of health? Do we not feel good enough to get that, deserving? you know? And of course you are. And of course those things are ridiculous stories, ridiculous programs from, you know, some boyfriend that dumped you in high school and made you feel like shit, or some girl bully in 4th grade when all the girls are mean. You know, like something ridiculous is running the show, I promise you. And if you have the courage to look at it without judgment, just to sit with it, and then to flip it on its head with, what is that goal going to feel like? So let's go through all these steps one more time for you, okay? Real quick, let's break down these steps again. Step 1, we look at my notes here so I make sure I got everything for you. Step 1, identify the block, okay? Step 2, and then this is real fast through these, identify the core emotions, the core feelings that block is associated with, right? Feel those things, allow it. Then write your goal in the affirmative. Then figure out where the stuckness and the fear is there, what it's there to protect you from. What is it that you're getting out of this stuckness and this fear? Okay? And you do that by using the statement, if I get to this goal, if I lose the weight, I fear, and then just fucking let it go. Like just spew on the page of what's gonna happen if this thing happens for you. No judgment. Cannot judge this shit. Cannot edit it. Just let it go. Step 4, brainstorm the ways that you can meet your goals and meet that scared little person inside of you's needs. Meet those fears. I'm afraid if I lose this weight, I won't know who I am anymore. Okay? But maybe I can meet this goal of being 130 pounds by learning consistently who this new person is that I want to be. And enjoying that person and experiencing and exploring that person. Maybe that won't feel as scary, okay? Once you've got that, write an affirmation of both the goal and the need. I am going to be 130 pounds and I am going to completely know who I am and love who I am and enjoy that person, right? And then remind yourself of that. Put it everywhere. And so like I said, this process, if you do it, is incredibly effective, but it's obviously a difficult process, right? But it's no more difficult than going to the gym every fucking day and seeing minimal change, or putting in a shitload of work and, you know, sacrifice on keto or some other very hard restrictive nutrition plan, losing weight, and then stopping that plan and having it come right back. Okay, when those are your conscious patterns, it's because you haven't unraveled this subconscious piece yet. And so this can feel really hard. But I need you to now use your rational, conscious brain to understand it is no harder than all the other shit that we're just doing and doing and doing that isn't working, that makes us feel frustrated, makes us feel like we want to give up, makes us feel like we're not good enough, we don't deserve this, weight loss must be for everyone else but me, right? And taking the time to move through that process, having the courage to move through that process, and having the understanding, the clarity inside of your mind and inside of your life to really see what's going on is obviously an easier process when you have a coach by your side, okay? So if you want to learn more about this process, about all of the other internal mindset pieces that I take my clients through in my programs, I'm going to pop a call link down here. You can book a call with me or someone on my team and we'll talk through. And it'll be a lot like this, where we're going to help you figure out, what is that fear? What is in your way? How are you in your own way? And how can we unstick you? Okay? So we'll see if you're a fit together for the program. So that is only for people who are truly ready to do that work. And again, we are not meditating on mountaintops and fucking wishing the belly fat away. No. You do have to have the correct nutrition strategies and the correct exercise strategies, okay? Your body and your mind are not separate, right? You need the right mindset strategies as much as you need the right nutrition and exercise strategies. And if you don't have all three, and if you don't have the courage and the clarity to continue moving through all three of those processes, weight loss will never, ever stick. Maybe you'll be successful at it in the short term. Maybe you have enough conscious push to stick to something really awful for a little bit and you lose a little for a little while, but it will never stick. If we don't have the courage and the clarity to identify why it's not sticking. I hope that was really, really valuable for y'all this morning. I would love to talk with those of you who are interested in learning further techniques and coming into the program to really change your body, your life, the way you feel, what you take action to do. Everything is possible for everyone. If I did it, you can do it. If she did it on Instagram, you can do it. Nothing is stopping you except for you. But we have to unravel that. It doesn't just, I'm not going to stop myself anymore, okay? There's an unraveling process, and this is one really powerful one to start with. So next week, 8:30 Mountain Time is our next live. I would love to hear in the comments questions, aha moments from today's training, revelations of wow, I didn't know that. That shit's really stopping me here. If you're watching this as a replay, #replay, and then whatever questions and comments you have, and I will do my best to come back in here in the next few days and answer those questions and help y'all out as best as I can. Have a beautiful, blessed Monday. Alejandro, Steve, and Monique, it is lovely to see you on here. I miss y'all at the studio. Let's all go have a badass, epic human being day. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye, guys.